Here in the US, there is exactly 4 smart locks that support Apple HomeKey that feature where you can tap your iPhone or your Apple Watch and automatically unlock your door. Well, I've tested all 4. The Aqara U100, the Yale Assure Lock 2, the Level Lock Plus, and the Schlage Encode. And I'm going to tell you which one is the best. And yes, there is a clear winner. Well, that depends what features are most important to you, but I'll break it all down in a second. The latest test was with the Schlage Encode Plus. Is it Schlage? I'm not sure. It's the one that looks like Schlage. This one is Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. It works with the Schlage app, but you don't even need to use that. You can set it up just strictly in the Apple Home app. It has a built-in keypad. Again, it works with Apple HomeKit and HomeKey to unlock with your Apple Watch and your iPhone, and it was super easy to install. But it rivals the Level Lock Plus as one of the most expensive smart locks with HomeKit and HomeKey. So installation, really fast. I've swapped out many of these locks over the last couple months, and I did it in under 15 minutes this time. That's right, 15. How you like that? Sorry, I don't know. I've never done that before. I just got a little excited. But anyway, installation was easy, taking off the old lock, putting in the new one, and the deadbolt for the Schlage Encode Plus actually is not a perfect round circle like the Level Lock. It has the flattened side, so this will fit in many more of those deadbolt holes that you probably already have around your house. This one also comes in 2 styles, Century or Camelot, and in 4 different finishes. This is the matte black in the Century finish. I like the look. It has the built-in keypad, and I personally, again, like the keypad for kids or just giving codes to people. And this has a physical key. Comes with 1 key in the box, not 2, like the Level Lock or the Aqara U100. And this one looks more like just a normal house key. You shouldn't have a problem duplicating it. It does have a pretty chunky backside. It takes 4 AA batteries, just like the Yale and the Aqara. And you can pair it either by NFC, tapping your iPhone to it, or scanning the HomeKit code. There's one inside the lock, and there's one on the manual. Now, I will say, I sat there trying to pair this with HomeKit for about 20 minutes, not knowing why it wasn't working, but apparently you should read the instructions, and you have to press this button on the back of the lock in order to put it in that pairing mode so you can get it into HomeKit. So don't be like me. Actually read all the instructions, press the button in the lock, and then you can pair it with HomeKit. Once I did that, paired easily with HomeKit, automatically enabled HomeKey, and the PIN codes that I had programmed in the Home app, which I already used with the Aqara U100 and the Yale Assure 2, and the ones for my other family members, all of them get programmed to this lock during the setup process, and you can use pretty much immediately. Now, there's many different models of the Schlage Encode. Make sure you get the right one with HomeKey. I'll put that link down in the video description. And this model also has Wi-Fi. Now, I set it up in the Apple Home app without the Schlage app at all, which you can do. You never need to download the Schlage app if you don't want to. But it seems to only connect via Bluetooth when you set it up in the Home app specifically. I went to the Schlage app, I accessed it via home data, but I never saw it on my Wi-Fi network. I checked my Unify stats, I have a lot of devices there, looked everywhere, and I didn't see it there, but I did see it as a device in the Eve app. Now, I saw one commenter on a previous video say that this lock is one of the only ones that have Thread. Now, I could not find Thread anywhere on the Schlage website, but when I look in the Eve app, it does say that it's connected via Bluetooth and it is a child Thread device. So I'll try to get more information on this, but it looks like it might have Thread. But if you want that Wi-Fi connectivity specifically, which lets you change some of the settings remotely in the Schlage app, then I would actually set it up in the Schlage app first. That's where you can connect it to Wi-Fi. Otherwise, if you set it up just in home, it'll just use Bluetooth. Also of note, Schlage put a color-matched strike plate in the box with this lock, unlike the Level Lock, which gives you that bright silver deadbolt and strike plate no matter what color you get. I like that these strike plates actually match the lock and then matches the other strike plates for like the door latch in the door frame. So kudos to Schlage on that. Now, how does this thing perform? I have to tell you, this is the fastest and most reliable HomeKey lock that I have tested. I've tested all 4, the Aqara, the Yale, the Level Lock. The Schlage Encode Plus is simply the fastest. Every time I lifted my phone to it or my Apple Watch, this thing unlocked faster than I ever really thought a HomeKey lock could do it. Super solid, never had any kind of false positives or false negatives. It unlocked every time I lifted my device and held it by the pin pad. If you're looking for reliability and speed of unlocking, the Schlage Encode Plus wins out of all these smart locks. It also has the pin pad, which is important to me for locking and unlocking, and I found it to be the most responsive and reliable. It's better than the Yale Assure Lock 2 keypad. It's better responsiveness. I had some issues with the Yale Assure Lock 2, and those pin codes can be put in directly in the Home app. You don't need to use the Schlage app to put in those pin codes. And you still have the physical keyhole as well. Overall, just the experience of using this lock, it's pretty great. If speed is important to you and just reliability of HomeKey and HomeKit, I think this is it. I even found this to respond faster, even in the Home app or using the Schlage app, than my other locks like the Yale and Level Lock. If you lock or unlock that in the Home app, it takes a few seconds. This Schlage Encode Plus, it worked really fast. Faster than all the other ones. I gotta give it credit. And listen, I had locked and unlocked this thing a lot of times. You could see here in the Home app, which if you didn't know, you can go to the Home app, tap the security at the top, go to Activity, you can see all the different locks and unlocks. It's also very fast to send me a notification when the lock was locked there on my iPhone. And of course, you can still program it in certain automations. Now, if you want to turn off the keypad beeping, then you do need to install the Schlage app. Again, all smart lock companies let these locks just be silent, muted right out of the box. Don't make me turn it off in your specific app. But yes, it does beep when you tap the pin pad unless you turn that off in the Schlage app. I also really liked the one-touch locking for this. You just tap the little lock symbol on the keypad and it locks very quickly. The Yale one, you have to hold the Yale symbol for a second before it locks. So again, when it comes to speed, this one even beats them on just locking from the pin pad. So I'll just say it one more time. When it comes to usability, reliability, and speed, Schlage Encode Plus wins it out. But let's compare it to the other 3 locks that I've tested. I still have the Aqara U100 installed on one of my doors and the Yale Assure Lock 2. I returned the Level Lock Plus just because A, it's one of the most expensive HomeKey smart locks, and B, that round cylinder deadbolt, it just wasn't working in the door frames that I have. Now the Schlage Encode Plus with Wi-Fi is over $300, typically around $330 depending on which style you get, but it is nice that it comes in 2 different styles. This is the Camelot style and this is the Century, the one that I was testing, and it comes in the matte black, aged bronze, bright chrome, and satin nickel. Nice colors. But again, this is one of the most expensive smart locks. It's actually more expensive than the Level Lock Plus right now. And actually a quick update on the Level Lock Plus, they actually have a new Connect version for $350, and it comes with this white module called the Connect. This actually will connect your Level Lock Plus to a Wi-Fi network, but this module still has to be close enough to the lock to be in Bluetooth range because the lock itself still only has Bluetooth, and then it'll connect to your Wi-Fi. So you have to find a place to put this kind of white hockey puck thing, and it doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi on the lock, whereas the Schlage Encode Plus is Wi-Fi built in. Just keep that in mind. So you're around $300 for those first 2 smart locks. The Yale Assure Lock 2, which is still one of my personal favorites, is right around $200. You can get a Wi-Fi version for closer to $300, but you can also buy that Wi-Fi module later, which is really nice. And the most inexpensive HomeKey lock is the Aqara U100 at under $200, at least right now as it's on sale. The Aqara U100 is also the only one with a fingerprint reader built in, plus HomeKey and all the other features. So, which one should you go with? Now, if aesthetics is your #1 priority and you don't want your door to look like it has a big smart lock on it, the Level Lock Plus is probably your best bet. It is the cleanest looking lock, it just looks like a normal smart lock inside and outside of the door, and it worked pretty well in my testing, works with HomeKey, the touch thing is cool. But if you want a pin pad specifically, and you don't mind the look of the Schlage Encode Plus, I think that is the lock to go with. It gives you that physical keyhole, you have the pin pad, and of the 4 HomeKey locks that I've tested, which are the only 4 available right now in the US, it was the fastest and most reliable one. That being said, my personal favorite is still the Yale Assure Lock 2. I tested the speed quickly between that and the Schlage Encode. It is a little slower, but just a hair, just a little bit slower. And I really like the look of the Yale Assure Lock 2 because it doesn't have a physical keyhole. I have this on a rear door going into my bedroom, so having the physical key is not as big of a deal on that door for me, and I think it just looks really nice. And the keypad off, the whole thing just looks like a matte black. The Schlage Encode, you kind of see the outline of the numbers even when it's not on. Now, the Aqara U100 is the most affordable. It has the fingerprint reader, which I like. My kids like using that. But I just have to say the battery life, for some reason on mine, it just goes really fast. I don't know if because it's communicating with a hub across several walls, but battery life is pretty meh, and HomeKey response is probably the slower of all of these locks. You do have to hold your watch or your iPhone up to the lock for several seconds before it registers. Just does not have the speed and responsiveness of the other ones. So, aesthetics, Level Lock Plus. If you just want reliability and speed, the Schlage Encode Plus. And if you want a good mix between aesthetics and price, and you don't care about a physical key, I really like the Yale Assure Lock 2 personally. But I gotta give it to Schlage. I don't know how to pronounce their name, but they made a really good smart lock with Apple HomeKey. So let me know what you think down in the comments. I know many of you already told me that the Schlage Encode Plus was the best one. Well, you were right. So you can gloat down in the comments if you would like, not a problem. But before you go, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Have lots of HomeKit stuff. I have a big smart home tour coming. I've been wanting to get all these locks tested and a couple other cameras set up before I do it. But that whole home smart tour is going to be coming very soon. And if you want to learn more about some of the features in iOS 17.2 and the Journal app, you can check out my video on that right up here. And if you'd like to learn more about how I built this entire smart home or the studio, I have a whole playlist on building a smart home. You can check out that playlist right here. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time.